The only monument in the United States that's actually dedicated to a piece of music, I think. And what better fitting place than at the birthplace of Pabst. This is where the troops, of course, came to rest following the 7 Days Battle in July of 1862. We moved the calendar up a little bit by a few weeks to try and take advantage of the cooler weather. If you come back in July, you know what I mean. And we're very honored to have everyone here for this very special occasion. And the music that you heard playing beforehand, of course, was the music of the Federal City Brass Band. Once again, I'd like to thank them for coming down. Now, at this time, I would invite you all to please rise for the presentation of national colors by the 83rd Pennsylvania Regiment, and remain standing for the playing of our national anthem. Color Guard, present the colors. First of all, we'd like to introduce Mr. Malcolm E. Jamison, Jamie Jamison, as he likes to be called. He doesn't like to be called Mr. Jamison, but for 107 years, his family has owned this land. I'd like to introduce Mr. Jamison. Also on stage with us is the Vice President of Pabst 150, a person who's really done a lot of work making all these things happen, Mr. Les Hampton from New York. Also on stage we have Mr. Doug Ramos, who is the Commander, Department of Virginia, American Legion. Commander, we're especially delighted that you're here representing the American Legion, the Virginia Department, because it was the American Legion that originally put up the Pabst Monument back in 1969. We also have with us very honored guests, and I hope that I catch everyone here. And first of all, we might as well start with Pat Yasala. Pat has been a great inspiration to me because she is the Butterfield historian. If there's anything to know about Daniel Butterfield, it's Pat. Pat, thank you for coming all the way down. we have, before we go on, we have representatives from the American, I almost forgot the American Legion, but they're behind me. We have the commanders of the American Legion Post 1776, Matt Hartman. Great. And also the commander of the American Legion Post 39, Pete Womack. We have Butterfield representatives here today, and you know, Daniel Butterfield didn't have any kids, so there's no direct lineage. So we have a lot of 6 cousins who are twice removed and all that. So with the representatives of all the Butterfield relatives, please rise so you may be recognized. Thank you very much. And we have a representative from the Norton family. Mike Norton is the great-grandson of Oliver Wilcox Norton. And I always get in trouble when I speak to the Norton family because they correct me and say, it's not Oliver, it's O.W. That's how he was known in his family. So Mike Norton of the Norton family. Wonderful to have the representatives of the Butterfield and Norton family. This will be the first time we've all gotten together since the big event here 150 years ago. So thank you for making the trip from all parts of the country. I do want to recognize the buglers we have here from Bugles Across America, and we put together a really nice ensemble all under the direction of Lieutenant Colonel Ken Rose, former Army commander. Gentlemen, you're over there. Thank you very much for coming. We'll hear from them in just a bit. And of course, thanks to the many reenactors who have given up their time this weekend to portray what the Army of the Potomac looked like at rest. And you're certainly invited to go down and look at the camp. Gentlemen of the 83rd Pennsylvania, thank you very much. And last but not least, all the volunteers who helped out this weekend. Putting on something like this just takes so much time and effort, and the volunteers who come down here to help with the party and help pass out the programs and stuff like that. Thank you very much. Saving the best, almost the best for last, because as you know, I'm a bugler. 50 years ago, here at Berkeley Plantation, where the monument was erected, on July 4th, 1962, they had a special ceremony here commemorating the 100th anniversary of the writing of facts. Also, what was interesting is that it was also the 50th anniversary of the American Legion. So not only did we have a department head in Virginia, but we had the national commander of the American Legion, along with the governor who was here to commemorate the 100th anniversary. And playing the bugle at that time was a young Marine who at that time was stationed down in the Norfolk area. And when I was looking at the pictures, I was saying, wow, this guy looks really sharp. I wonder where he is today. It is water, yes. That's like luck. So anyway, we found this young man who was a professional trumpet player, retired now, excuse me, Lou Ladoni. And Lou has come back after 50 years. He was that young Marine that played taps here. Welcome back, Lou. It is an honor to see you, sir. Thank you, 7-5. Well, moving on with our program here, it's my honor to introduce to you Mr. Les Hampton, our Vice President, who has a special letter from Congressman Thomas Reed of New York. Les?
Thank you. Thank you. Around the end of 2008, when we were starting to plan a lot of these activities that are going on, there was a lot of peripheral things going on. We worked on having a stamp published by the U.S. Postal Department, some other things. And one of the things that we talked about was having TAPS being officially recognized by the federal government, and we wanted to have it made into our national song of remembrance. So it would be equivalent to our national anthem. So it would stand right alongside. Because right now, other than being in the military manuals, it really has no official status. So over the course of the next 3 years, I worked with several congressmen to help us move this through Congress, and for various reasons, it did take, this is our fourth one, and because of elections and so on and so forth. But anyway, Congressman Tom Reed of the 29th District of New York decided he was going to take this under his wing and move it through Congress. And because it is very close to him and his family, he did come from a military family. So, and he does apologize for not being able to be here today. He really wanted to do this. But he did send along a letter, and what I'm going to do, rather than reading the whole letter, because it is rather warm here, I'm just going to read what he read to the House of Representatives on the floor. Mr. Speaker, I rise today to recognize the 150th anniversary of the writing of TAPS, a song I have worked tirelessly here in Congress to recognize as the national song of remembrance for those who have served our country. Much like the Star-Spangled Banner, Stars and Stripes Forever, which were born from the winds of war, TAPS shares a similar history. In July 1862, following the 7 days battle, Union General Daniel Butterfield and bugler Oliver Wilcox Norton created TAPS at the Berkeley Plantation, Virginia, as a way to signal the end of daily military activity. Since that time, TAPS has become known throughout the United States as part of the military honors accorded at funerals, memorial services, wreath ceremonies held for members of the uniformed service and veterans who have faithfully served our nation during times of war and peace. The designation of TAPS as our national song of remembrance is timely because the 150th anniversary of the writing of TAPS will be observed with the events culminating this month, June 2012, with a rededication of the TAPS monument at Berkeley Plantation, Virginia. I am proud that the House of Representatives passed this language as a tribute to honor those who have fallen in service in our country. The bill last year was part of the Defense Authorization Bill. It passed the House, it passed the Senate, but when it came time to write a common language, it was rejected from the Defense Authorization Bill. That doesn't stop us. Congressman Reed was not a happy camper when he got that news. So he does expect that this year it has passed the House. He expects that it will pass the Senate and be signed into law this year. Congressman Reed and I thank you very much, and you have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Les. It's my honor right now to introduce to you the Commander of the Department of Virginia American Legion, Mr. Doug Ramos. Commander?
Thank you very much for that. That's a very nice welcome. And thank you for the opportunity to address this gathering on the 150th anniversary of TAP. TAP is a unique element, simple and unique, and it's easy to recognize. It's universal enough to be considered an American musical icon. It would be hard to imagine someone other than a young child who wouldn't know it when it was heard. TAP means different things to us depending on our experiences. For some it's remembered as the last thing they hear before lights out in summer camp, or the sign of relief for needing another day in boot camp. It's sometimes pray to graduation, or simply a day again. For others, it's associated with funerals, and for many, military trips. As a representative of the American Legion, I would like to say a few words about what TAP means to many of our military personnel. Since the American Legion is composed of military men and women who served in time of war, most of my fellow Legionnaires know of someone who gave their life in the service of this country. Many of these Legionnaires, and many of you have probably attended a military funeral, or have seen one on TV. And a military funeral casts a flame. It's often silent, last event of the funeral. Signifies the end of our relationship with the fallen, and therefore has sadness and a feeling of loss surrounding it. It's sad and there's a feeling of loss because we remember them as we were. We remember the potential they represented. We think of the future they gave up, and we grieve for their loss. Above all, we remember them for the sacrifice they made, the willingness to put themselves in harm's way, knowing in advance of the potential danger. They made this sacrifice for the country and for free men everywhere. It is in this remembrance I'd like to focus on today because all too often we forget the sacrifices these fallen men and women have made for our children and our grandchildren's benefit. It's easy to do, but nobody wants to hear unpleasant news. But still I ask you, along with other memories you may have, remember our military dead the next time you hear that. Some of you may know that 10 men died in the service of the country the week ending June 6th. I picked this week because it was the most recent week with verified data from the Department of Defense. These 10 men are representatives of just about any group of American men. Some were husbands, some were fathers, some were brothers, and there was even a grandfather among them. Just a bunch of ordinary guys offering extraordinary sacrifices. Let me tell you just a little bit about two of them. Army Specialist Geraldo Campos and Army Staff Sergeant Alexander Paul Huff. They have some things in common with every soldier, sailor, airman, marine who made the ultimate sacrifice for them. The sacrifice that the shockwave of all to anyone who knew them. Army Specialists died in section in Afghanistan was wounds caused by enemy small arm fire. 23 years of age, married with a small daughter. 150 veterans representing every branch of our armed service met his plane as it landed in Miami, state of his cash. His sister said of him, he was a good man, he was an honest man. His mother said he was everything. Everything you can think of, good hero, friend, father, best brother. He was an extraordinary sacrifice. Army Staff Sergeant Alexander Kobachevitz died of wounds caused by an IED in Afghanistan. He was 47 years old, a father and a grandfather. He was described by his wife as a good man, good father. He rejoined the military in his 40s because he wanted to give something back to his country. He was a basketball and football player in high school, liked to hunt and fish. He offered another extraordinary sacrifice. There are 8 others who made that extraordinary sacrifice just that week. All left families, friends, and communities devastated homes. And I don't know if Chaplain played at the funeral, even if any of them had to have been. But it really doesn't matter because in my mind, when Chaplain played anywhere, because of me and my military brothers, remember and honor the fallen. Those who gave all, the 10 men who died, that week. It is for these young men and the thousands of other men and women who see and all you have given their lives to the defense and freedom. I ask that you remember in your thoughts and prayers the next time you hear them. We owe them that much. And first, I'd like to read the certificate in 1969, the American Legion dedicated. I'd like to read this in my name. This is to certify Peninsula Post number 39, located in Williamsburg, Virginia. Participating in the erection of the American Legion Department of Virginia's monument at Berkeley Plantation, Charles City County, Virginia. And memory of American war dead of all wars, and to commemorate the composition and first honoring of death at this site of the monument in July of 1962. The monument represents the gift of the American Legionnaires of Virginia to the state of Virginia and in observance of the 50th anniversary of the founding of the American Legion. Dated Department Headquarters of the American Legion, 19th day of February 1959. Richard L. James, Chairman. Thank you so much for having me today, and please have a very nice day. Thank you.
Thank you, Commander. We are honored by your words here today, and before you leave, we'd like to make sure that you get one of our little paperweights here. It says PAPS 150, that's so that you will remember your time here, and thank you to the American Legion for putting on the monument in the first place and allowing us to rededicate it here. As I said before, we have a number of buglers who have traveled from all over the country to perform for us today. And I think at this time it would be fitting, if they are able to do so, to perform a piece of music for us right now, musical selection. That would be very nice. What piece would you like to perform for us?
God bless America.
God bless America. Very nice. These are the buglers from Buglers Across America, from all over the country, gathered here today. Introduce and bring up for a few words Mr. Malcolm E. Jameson. Jamie?
Thank you. First, I'd like to welcome you all to Berkeley. I'm so glad you care so much to come out here today and join us. I want to thank Yari and all of his volunteers for putting this on. It's been a tremendous amount of work beforehand necessary to organize all of this, and he's just done a splendid job. In July and August of 1862, after the launch of the Peninsula Campaign, and directly after the 7 Days Battle, which there were tremendous losses on both sides, really the first big losses of the war, General McClellan withdrew his troops from Malvern Hill and came down Route 5, as many of you did, back here to Berkeley, so he could be close to his 100 ships, his gunboats in the river, which made him feel very safe, and they were a formidable force. It's been said about the history books that it rained, it was mud everywhere, tremendous heat and humidity, many wounded, very discouraging time. The plan was to take Richmond early on and end the war quickly, and it's been a terrible failure. When we dropped back here, I'm sure all of his troops were pretty well down and discouraged. And out of that, I think, came some of the sadness and some of the uplifting parts of TAPS. I always hear TAPS and I look across this river and see the peace. Sometimes in the evening, nobody else is around. I come to this film and rock, and it's a very peaceful place. So I think all of those things came together, the sorrow and the need for something uplifting, and all of that came together and made, if you will, the conditions that made the forming of TAPS possible. We have done our best to try to continue the legacy here. I'm very proud that my grandfather, yes, my grandfather, not my great-father, was a member of McClellan's army, a drummer boy here with the 140,000 troops that we have to drop back after the 7 days. He was a drummer boy, and really that had no rank at all. And, only in America could this happen in those times. He ended up at the age 60 being able to buy the place. We've been here for 107 years, and if we got federal government notwithstanding, we will be here a few more years. And thank you for your support. But I thank you all so much for coming out, and this is a very wondrous day here with all this wonderful music and a pretty day, and it's just great that you came. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Would also like to present you with a nice little token of our esteem and appreciation for all your papers.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, we're coming up almost to the conclusion of our ceremony. Basically, this is where I was going to make some remarks. But, you know, I'll tell you, I've been interviewed on radio and television so many times. If you want to know what I think about TAPS, I think you can go there and find it. I don't need to recount the story. All I want to tell you today is that I'm very honored to be here. This whole thing started about 30 years ago with my interest in TAPS, me wanting to find out more about it. And then when I joined the Air Force, I was actually on the bus. Part of my duties, of course, was to sound taps at Arlington National Cemetery. We would get on the bus from Bolling Air Force Base and go over to the cemetery. And one day, the drum major, Steve Stevens, asked me, "Do you know where TAPS came from?" And I looked at him and I had no idea. I said, "I think it's some sort of story about a Union captain and his Confederate son, you know, and then he found the music in the pocket and stuff." But tell you what, sir, I'll find out. Well, I went to the library, and then, of course, days before the internet, I found some information, and then they referred me to another library. And then another library. Pretty soon I'm down at the National Archives. I'm at the Military Institute up in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. I'm going around the country and I'm meeting some terrific people who have an incredible, intense knowledge about not only bugling, but also bugle calls and, of course, the call of TAPS. And throughout this journey, I'm really blessed with talking to these folks, finding out information, and being the happy recipient of letters and photocopies of music and diaries and things like that, piecing the story together, that wonderful story of General Daniel Butterfield and his bugler, Oliver Wilcox Norton. And then, you know, as we got closer to the 150th anniversary, I knew that we could not let it pass without having some sort of commemoration here on the grounds where it was first sounded in that July night. So I'm very honored to be here. One person who I have not thanked, and I wanted to thank her right now publicly. Actually, there's two females that I need to thank. And of course, they always say it's the females who are behind every great man. With TAPS, I've been lucky that I have two of them. The first person is Tammy Radcliffe, who is the special events coordinator here at Berkeley Plantation. And I got to tell you a little story about her. They hold the celebration of Thanksgiving here every year. And one year, the President of the United States, George Bush, came down as an honored guest. So for like 3 weeks ahead of time, this place was overrun by the Secret Service, making sure everything was good. The President landed, I believe, in the parade field right down there, and came up, was here for the ceremony. Tammy worked with the Secret Service a lot in putting it together. It was a very successful event. After the President left, it's amazing how things just go back to normal very quickly. Tammy, I understand, I don't really know this baby, but she got a phone call from the White House a few weeks later asking if she would like to come to work for them. They were so impressed with her.
We didn't tell you about that.
Oh, Tammy didn't know about it. Oh, sorry, I let the cat out of the bag. No, she knew, and she turned him down. She likes working at this place so much. So Tammy, where is she? She's not here. So Tammy, thank you for all the great work. He's a great behind-the-scenes person. Last but not least, my lovely wife, Heather Faust, who, the past 6 months I've been on the road preaching the gospel of PAPS and talking to many different organizations. Went up to Union College, where Daniel Butterfield went to school, was able to talk to their alumni, give a program up there, did a concert on the May 19th. Then we came down Arlington National Cemetery, we had buglers. We had 180 some buglers show up in Arlington for special dedication. Anyway, Heather's been really terrific in allowing me to go up and do this, and I really love you, honey, and thank you very much for all your support, because it's kind of tough. I know a lot of wives wouldn't let their husbands go off and do this, but thank you very much. And last but not least, I want to thank my bosses who are not here. They think I'm at work, actually. I work for the Maryland Military Department. I work for the Adjutant General of the state of Maryland, Major General James A. Atkins. And they have been very supportive in letting me take the time off to do this. Interestingly enough, my job now that I've retired from the Air Force and playing funerals is to provide military funeral honors for our Maryland veterans. I work with 75 terrific Army and Air Force personnel who go out every single day and perform those honors. We do over 300 every month throughout the state. And I'm so pleased that we have these great men and women who do this. Everybody asks me one question. It keeps coming up in interviews. What is it? Why do you do this? What is it? And of course, I said, well, I can tell you all the history, but the reason is, bottom line is that I'm trying to give something back to those men and women who served our uniform, who've come before, for those who have yet to come. So it's my great honor that we are here on this stage to rededicate this monument. And I would like to right now invite Mr. Jameson and Les, as we walk over, we unveil the American flag to show you the new rededicated. If you've been here before at any time, you'll remember that this was all overgrown. You could not see the river. So we cut everything back. We had the Grapponi Company, monument company, who came, redid the bronze on it. We did all the cleaning up of the bricks. We put in a new bench here in honor of Oliver Wilcox Norton and Daniel Adams Butterfield. We have their dates on it. And I think they've done a great job, and we're really pleased. So, Mr. Jameson and Mr. Hampton, if you could join me, please, as we take the flag off.